let's make some money. Time to make money. What does a licensing deal look like? Well, typically, I would work with an inventor myself and speak to the licensee, and I would talk to them about what their expectations are. How many units do you think you can sell? Do you have something to base it on that you've had good success with? Because I want to make sure, and you want to make sure that you're going to be able to make the product and sell it so everybody can earn, and we'd have some good activity with it. So typically, it can be for a certain amount of time. It could be for a territory. So maybe the licensee, right? You're the licensor with the invention. They're the licensee. So maybe they have distribution in multiple countries, or maybe it's in only in the US. I said there's a term, then that, then exclusivity. Well, most of the time, licensing deals are going to be exclusive. It's if it's within that category industry. So if it's a housewares product and they sell in housewares, they're probably not going to want you to rent the rights to your intellectual property to them to give it to somebody else for them to compete against the same thing. They're using you to have a competitive edge in the market, right? So typically it's exclusive. If it's in a completely different industry that your current licensee or your potential licensee is in, then maybe they would consider allowing into another category, as long as, again, you're not competing against each other. And then there's also minimum guarantees. So how many do you think you're going to sell? If you hit that, then that's great. We're going to continue and we'll expand and we'll extend our agreements. But if you don't, we have to talk about it. Are you going to be able to are you going to pay the difference of the minimum royalty guarantee? Or are we going to turn it into a non-exclusive and then we might just terminate the deal? I want to be able to maximize the time, because when I come up with an invention, a design patent lasts 15 years and a utility patent, otherwise known as a non-provisional patent, will last 20 years. So my time is ticking, and it took a couple of years also while it's being filed and being examined by the US Patent and Trademark Office. That's also part of the time of your patent. So you want to try to maximize your time and you want to find a good deal. So I love making deals with licensees and making sure that it's amicable for both parties and fair, that they're going to be excited about doing it and you're going to be excited about earning royalties. That's the best part, right? Earning royalties. So we decided to manufacture. So let's make money this way. How can I sell my new product invention, right? You're manufacturing it. So a lot of times I'm working with people, and this happened to me in the beginning. Okay, I'm excited. I manufactured my product. I have 5,000 units in my garage. Now what? So I like to think about that before. So we talk about how many let's say you're going to manufacture it. Let's say you have the 5,000 units in your garage. What would you do if you had it right now? Well, I'm going to take my prototype, or I'm going to take my pre-production sample, and I'm going to go knock on doors. I'm going to see what kind of opportunities there are with the different retailers that I'm thinking about. But a lot of times these days, you could be really successful being online. You don't have to be in a big box retailer to be successful. And look, let's kind of tell it like it is. Look, not every product and not every idea that you have is going to be a home run. Some are going to be singles. A lot of times people, let's say you come up with a golf ball and somebody comes and says, Brian, I came up with this amazing golf ball. It does all these tips and tricks and all these things. Okay. And I look around and everybody everybody on the golf course right now is playing golf. I'm going to be a gazillionaire. Okay. So take yourself out of the golf course and now look around and ask people, do you play golf? Do you play golf? Do you play golf? Maybe it's a little bit less, right? So you want to be realistic to really understand what your window of opportunity is. So that's why if it's niche, then you're in a specific category. A lot of times people come to me and they give me a list of where they think their idea should be sold. And a lot of times I appreciate that it could be something very specific for that, but how can I flip it so I can make it into more of a mass market consumer opportunity? Yes, what you came up with is smart, but maybe it's second, third, or fourth on the list, right? We want to keep our window of opportunity open. Just like I said with the pull ties, I made my window of opportunity very large to do really well with this product because I said, how many people have a kitchen at the end of the day? Okay. So online these days, you have Amazon, you have eBay, Etsy, you have all these different Walmart.com, you have all these different opportunities to be able to put your product out. So you manufacture it, you send it to them, they could do fulfillment for you, you do fulfillment for yourself, and you can make a business out of it. You're making a product for $4, you're selling it for $10, you have a nice margin there. You give Amazon or whoever their cut, or a sales rep, if you have a sales rep going into the meeting with buyers and collecting POs for you to fulfill. So these are things to really consider. And again, you can really turn your idea into something these days as an entrepreneur coming up with an invention and starting a business. And look, a lot of the manufacturers that I work with also, even overseas, sometimes people's perceptions are you need 50,000 units, 100,000 units, gazillion dollars, millions of dollars. A lot of these factories are willing to work with you to help you to do the tooling if you need, which is like these big metal plates that they pour liquid in and it cools off and they open it and it comes out, and that's how you make your product. So they'll work with you on the tooling or amortize it into the price, or maybe they'll help you understand that you're just launching your business. So maybe work on a minimum order quantity lower. I might pay a little bit more on the price, but look, if I have the margins, I'm gonna get my business going. And I love putting people into business for themselves. They don't realize it.